I feel like I blacked out most of my time there.
Thank you so much for being here, Miss Mosu. Did I say it correctly?
You got it right this time, honey.
This time, oh my god, yes. I don't know why I was struggling with that. I was like Musu, Mosu. I felt like an idiot the entire time saying it. I'm like, I
No,
feel like it's
honestly,
wrong.
it is a bit of a difficult one here in Canada because the C with the accent, the Sedelia, makes it soft, and then the O on the end of words in Portuguese sound like oo instead of O. So
Yeah,
it's like there's lots of levels and layers to it.
it seems like a very simple name, but for some reason I could not get it.
It translates to Miss Boy.
Oh yes, I do remember seeing that. It translates to Miss Boy. Now, why did you decide to come up with that name? Because it wasn't just
It's my actual last name.
that's your actual last name, and it translates to
Hmm.
Miss Boy.
Well, in Canada, it's Moco. When my dad immigrated here, for some reason they took off the Sedelia off of the name, so we've just became Moco in Canada. And when I moved to Portugal, where I have citizenship, my citizenship is Moço, and I knew moving to Portugal with Spain right next door, Moco in Spanish means booger. So as I'm gonna start going by Miss Mosu, which I'd only been doing drag for 6 months at that point. So I was like, it's an easy transition.
Yeah, it's perfect actually.
It was perfect in Portugal. People are like, what a great name. And then
Yeah,
I come home to Canada and it's just like, who's this fancy bitch with an accent in her name?
very that. Now I saw that you've always wanted to be on Canada's Drag Race since the announcement of season one.
Hmm.
You got there season three. You didn't have to wait very long, so that's good.
I auditioned every season and I made it quite close. So I was like, three is the one.
I feel like you made it on a really great season. What was it like for you? Did all of your expectations, did you, Canada's Drag Race meet them all?
Like you said, I've wanted to be on this show since it came to Canada, and just getting on is such an accomplishment in itself. So for that, I'm so proud and so grateful to be a part of it. Getting on the show, so much more different than what I had expected, and my introvertedness definitely took over. And I'm the kind of person who is like, I need some time to really feel comfortable. And when you're in that pressure cooker of Drag Race, they're like, you do
Yeah.
not have time, honey. And
No.
it definitely showed. I don't think they showed as much as what I was going through, but I was like little Miss Quiet thing in the corner, just like doing my thing, not really
I was
engaging.
like, okay, you had a great relationship with Jada prior to the show, and so you kind of stayed in that little bubble where you were comfortable. And I
Yeah.
kept wanting to see you engage with everyone else, but you, as you said, you're an introvert, and I get it. I'm an introvert cosplaying as an extrovert in front of a camera, but I get
Yes.
it. I really get it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, I think you probably would have seen me at my most comfortable is when Jada and I were sitting down getting ready for the Who Knows and just chatting and laughing. I was like, again, we were in our own little space in a corner. I was like, I felt so safe and so comfortable. And I'm so grateful we got to work together, even though she sent me home.
I mean, speaking of sending you home, like five. Wait, first of all, I want to acknowledge five Toronto queens. What do you think is so special about Toronto queens? Are they the ticket?
Honestly, we're not to say that no one else in Canada is a hard worker. Everyone's a hard worker, but in Toronto, we do marathon drag where it's like song after song after song, and we really put in a lot of work here for our drag. So I think we have like a little edge when it comes to working under pressure and really diving into something where there's a lot of work involved.
I can see that because I go to the clubs all the time just to watch you guys. I've seen you and Jada host before, and so
And are we not great hosts together when we're live.
I loved you guys together. I thought you guys had a really great chemistry. I could tell you were friends outside of drag.
Well,
But
actually, we just became friends when we started hosting together. We knew
uh,
of each other, and but we never hung out. We kind of just see each other out, and it wasn't until we were on stage together hosting that we're like, this works. We
yeah.
work well together.
So I could tell that by watching you guys host the last time I saw you. But then I kept thinking to myself, okay, I saw them and they had a great rapport, but this is about hosting also kind of comedy. What is that going to be like? Because that's kind of different.
It was not only that, it was scripted.
That too.
Jada and I are off the cuff, kind of working with our surroundings together when we're hosting. So this was like coming up with jokes, which like I don't think either of us are that talented when it comes to writing jokes. So a bit of a struggle, obviously, if we all watched the same episode.
You know, I'd give you a little bit more credit because I do think that joke about, you know, Brad looking over his shoulder and Cole and all, I thought that was so funny. It's just
He
that
loved it.
your delivery in the workroom was not the same on the stage.
And you know what? And this is what happened. I delivered it and he laughed. I was like, great. But in my mind, I was like, ooh, I feel like a little dramatic pause will like really just send this joke home. And then no, dead air, dead air. Now I know like just keep things flowing.
You know, when I was watching last night and I was reacting to it, I thought to myself, why is it that everyone in the audience, all the other girls, were just so quiet during most of the sets? I want to know from you, was it just not funny for a lot of people, or were the queens just like, was it edited weird? Because I laughed at some of the jokes, and then it would pan to the girls, and they're just like,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that edits happen, and obviously we were going to be in the bottom, so they want to really drive that home that we're doing awful. But to be honest, could not tell you. I feel like I blacked out most of my time there in those two episodes, just like tunnel vision. This is what we need to do. Let's get to the end of that challenge. And yeah, I walked off. I was like, couldn't tell you.
uh, that happens. It happens.
Hmm.
You were there for 2 episodes. I would want to ask you, like, what was the most fun you had on set? What was just a memory that you had that was like, I'm gonna take this with me, and I'm glad this happened.
Meeting a bunch of my season 3 sisters. In the first episode, I was sitting with Kimmy and Vivian as we were all kind of working together, and we all really connected. I felt like I connected really well with Vivian and Irma, and Giselle and Shelazon. Everyone is just so lovely. It's like we really have a close bond, all of us. And I think that I'll take away. And my experience just with production and everyone around was so positive, and I felt a lot of love being there. So that I will definitely take with me.
I love that. And I want to go back a little bit to your background. On the show, you were such an introvert, so you didn't really get to talk about a lot of things in your past and what you do and what you're about. I want you to tell us a little bit more about the drag show that you own in Lisbon and all of the
Mm.
great work you do, because I feel like that part of your story just didn't get to be experienced by the viewers.
Mm. Did they mention it at all?
I feel like someone mentioned it when you walked into the workroom. Probably Jada
Maybe.
mentioned it.
I moved to Lisbon, Portugal at the end of 2015. I had just started drag. I moved to work on my art, take at least like a year off and just find myself. I was about to turn 30 and I told myself I'd move to Europe before I was 30. So I made it happen. I got there, and Lisbon didn't have much of a scene. They have one little drag bar that was around or still is around for over 40 years. But other than that, is like you couldn't really go to see drag artists perform. And with Drag Race in the US, it really creates a buzz around the world, and there are drag queens popping up left and right. So I actually started to host a viewing party for Drag Race in Portugal, this gorgeous little dive bar called 49. And that kind of just like kickstarted my, okay, I can do something here. People want drag. So I had the idea of bringing together a drag pageant. In 2017 was the first one. There was 200 people. We sold out in that space. And
That's
the next
amazing.
year, we're like, let's go bigger. We had a space with, I think capacity was 900, and we had around 780 to 800 people buy tickets for the next year. And I'm going back. It'll be the fifth one this coming September in 2022.
Wow, that's amazing. Like, that's a huge accomplishment, not just as a
Thank you.
businesswoman, but just as like a spokesperson of champion for the community and like building a community in that area that really they probably didn't really have a space to express themselves in that
Well,
way.
I know the feeling of starting drag and not really feeling like I fit in Toronto. I was always a West End queen, and I didn't really fit that mold of the village. So my mentality around things is like, I'm not going to wait around for people to come to me. I'm going to find my own work and do my own thing. And
Can I tell
that's,
you that I only found out about Queens on the West End like a few months ago?
while you're talking to one right now, I do my Sunday drag brunch at
Oh,
Gladstone House.
I'm
It's been
going
around.
to be there. It popped
I
up on my
can't wait.
feed the other day, and I said, it's a cute hotel, and I get to sit and watch drag queens and eat. Why am I going all the way downtown? Because I'm on the West End as well. So I'm going to come
Hey,
see you.
so that was one of the other things. I moved back in 2018 to Toronto, and I was like, I can't wait for people. I need to do my own thing. And my drag brunch at Gladstone was the first thing that I started for myself here in Toronto, and it's what has made me known in the city and in Canada is that drag brunch.
Perfect. I can't wait to see you because
Mm,
I have seen you perform, and you are amazing. Like
thank
when,
you.
as much as you're an introvert, once the song starts playing, you transform, and I
Did
love
you
that.
see me during Beauty and the Beat when I did the cartwheel? And I was like,
Yes.
I felt Justin in me so hard.
So hard.
So hard, Justin. Yes.
Um, so you didn't make it to the Snatch Game, unfortunately, but I always love to know like what the queens would have planned for Snatch Game because it's one of my favorite parts of the show. What would you have
Uh,
done, or what are some of the options you had floating around?
I had Fran Drescher and Anna Delvey from Inventing Anna as
Oh my
my top two.
god. Okay, can you do one?
Yeah.
Anyone, I'll be happy
Oh,
because
Mr. Sheffield.
can I tell you the Nanny's one of my favorite sitcoms of all time? I
Stop
love
it.
that. I love it.
Oh,
That's so good.
well, you could have seen her.
Wow. Maybe you can incorporate that into one of your shows at the Gladstone.
You never know. I mean, who knows what is to come? So stay tuned to all my shows and things. I've got lots of surprises.
I can't wait. Now, before we go, there's a game I play with all the queens. I love to play it because it's super fun. It's Shag, Marry, Kill, the entire cast of season 3. Let's go.
Shag. Oh my God. Vivian. Shag
Mm.
Vivian, that little mullet. So cute. I love her. Mary, Jada. I would
She can
marry.
cook. So,
I'm plant-based, so we wouldn't really be on the same page for that. And
well, she looks like she
um,
gives good cuddles.
this is it. You marry someone who gives good cuddles, and I feel like Jada would give me that. Kill, I would kill that green dress that I wore on first episode on the runway.
Ah, I agree with you.
I'd murder that dress. I would throw her off a building into a dumpster fire.
And that would be the end of it.
Listen,
Perfect.
she was a moment, and I
She was a
appreciate her for what
moment,
she
she
was.
was a choice, and she will live on in infamy, like
Yes.
legendary.
Yes, she is my little friend that will follow me throughout my career.
Well, Miss Mosu, thank you so much for talking to me today. I really enjoyed you, and I can't wait to see you in person. I will definitely be
Looking
checking out your
forward.
show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. So great to meet you.
Hey beautiful humans, you've made it this far in this video, why not subscribe to my Patreon? You can sign up for exclusive content I don't post on YouTube, or support me making content for this channel. Speaking of, why don't you watch another video?